video. I'm here to talk about the legal and regulation considerations for independent contractors. Um, I have 4 tips, maybe 5, for you today. The first one is about licensing, and providers in healthcare need to have licenses or certification to prove that we have gone through training to provide the services that we are providing. If you are providing, if you are billing insurance, then of course you need to have separate licenses from the city or the state, depends on the service that you are providing. So there's that too. So we want to make sure that depends on the service that we are providing. We do the due diligence to find out what are the regulations that we need to follow and what are the legal way to go about it. So that way we are set to do and set to start the correct way so that we don't have to go back and fix anything. And then, of course, to avoid any legal fees for doing the wrong thing. So, research, 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 and yeah, research and to find out what the rules are and what the regulations are. Okay. And number 2 um, is, of course, taxes. Before you get started, you want to speak to an accountant to make sure that you know what the expectations of the service that you are providing, what the expectations are in terms of taxes. Because if you're not an employee, you're an independent contractor, the expectation in terms of taxes are different, and you need a advisory. You need like advice from a tax expert to kind of teach you and let you know what the expectations are, when they are, so that way you prepare, you set up um, your what you need to do when you need to do it. Okay, you don't want to find out last minute, and then things accumulate, and then now you all stressed out because you didn't know, and then of course you want to avoid extra fees because you didn't know, because there are penalties and all that stuff. So talk to an advisor, find out, tell them exactly what you want to do, find out what the legal uh, expectations are, what the regulations are, what's expected of you, and they will let you know exactly what that is. Okay. Okay, that was tip number 2. Tip number 3, as a healthcare provider, you need to have liability insurance. There's liability insurance, and then there's general insurance. Sometimes they're both are offered, but I know definitely you need liability insurance to cover you just in case something do go wrong, and you're being sued, so that way your that insurance can kick in and cover whatever it is that you're being sued for. So hopefully you never have to use it, because even though it may not be your fault or whatever, or it's just a stress in its own, but it's just one of those things we have to have just in case it does happen, so that way you're covered. No worries. I have insurance. We go through that and we okay. So make sure you have liability insurance. And before you start, do your research. Find out find out which company provide insurance for your specific niche, for that specific service you provide, because not all insurance companies cover all all type of healthcare providers, but most do. But do your due diligence to do some research, reach out to your colleagues who are already doing independent contract work, or anybody that you know that's doing it. Research online, find a few, call them, and then compare and contrast, and then go with whichever one is best for you at the time. Okay. All right. So liability insurance is number three. Okay. Number four is health insurance. Health insurance is one of those things that usually keeps people from uh, doing independent work. Sole independent work, meaning they don't have a regular salary job that offers them health insurance, 401k, and everything else. If someone would are considering doing independent contract work full time, usually health insurance is the determining factor that's keeping them from deciding if they want to or not, because because like, it's just one of those things you have to pay out of pocket for it, and some people may consider that it's too much. um but again, do your research ahead of time, um, knowing how much you would be bringing in as a full-time, part-time, and knowing that, and do research in terms of how much it would cost you for insurance, um, is will help you determine if that's for you or not. But there's a lot of people who do independent contract work aside from their full-time job, and they don't usually worry about that one because they're covered by insurance by their regular job. But then there are people who want to do it, and there are people who are doing it. So the options, um, the option is out there for other people that are doing it full time. So it's just a matter of finding out if at the end of the day, if it's worth it for you. And I'm sure it's worth it for some of people who are doing contractors full time. So you just got to figure out how it's working for them, and figure out how it can work for you. And then, as long as you research and get all the answers you need to get in order for you to make a decision, and once you have all of that, then you get to decide if you want to or not. So that was tip number four. um the last one is just a bonus, which is like your NPI. And again, the NPI usually is needed if you are billing insurance. Um, any any health insurance that you are billing would require an NPI number, and then the NPI number um, does what it does, kind of like tracks you along your journey as a provider. So So they require it. So if you want to apply for Medicaid, Medicare, and any of the other health insurance companies, that's NPI is one of the questions that would be asked on the application, so you would need to have that. But if you are not planning on building any health insurance, or you're not providing services to a third party, meaning like if you get a contract from an agency or third party that bill insurance, then you won't need an NPI. Let's say you get paid with cash, you won't need an NPI. But if you're the contractor, the one who's providing you with um, the service, or you personally is billing insurance, or if the contractor is billing insurance, or if you're billing insurance, you need the NPI. That's just a bonus. I just wanted to mention that, so you know that you would need that if that's the case. Other than that, those four are just the primary ones that I could think of that you would definitely need. Make sure you have the proper license or licenses for what you're doing, you're providing. And sometimes you need more than just your professional license, right? So if you like opening like a facility to provide a type of service, you may need a license from the city or the state, or depends on that, whatever it is that you're opening. Okay, so make sure you know that. And then number two was tax. Find an accountant and ask all the questions you need to ask for what you're providing. And then liability insurance to cover just in case something goes wrong. And then third, health insurance. Find out how much it will cost you if you were to go full time, and then do the math, see how much you would make, and how much it will cost, and then see if it's worth it or not for you. I'm providing all these tips so that you go in educated, so you can make like educated decisions when and if you when and if you want to start your journey. um, yeah, when and if you want to start your journey. So I'm providing all this tip for you. So this video is about the legal and regulatory consideration of independent contractors, um, for independent, I'm sorry, legal and regulatory consideration for independent contractors in healthcare. So those are the 4 tips I have for you today. And I want you to also check out some of the other videos I made under the live. I have some under playlists and some under videos. I shared other tips also. Go watch those, and I feel that they're very informative, and these are information I wish I knew when I started. So I'm trying to provide all these information in one place, so that way when uh, you can learn, and before you get started. Okay, so, and if I leave anything out, feel free to share in the comments section. And also, don't forget to share, comment, and like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell just in case when I go live or post a video, you are notified. And thank you for watching the whole video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following. And I will see you in the next one. Okay? Bye bye.